Water. It's one of the simplest and most abundant resources on this planet, yet its true significance often escapes us. We drink it daily without thinking, without truly understanding how something so basic is also so vital. From ancient times, water has been seen as a source of life, health, and purification. But today, it's easy to overlook the deeper connection we can have with this essential element. We've become so accustomed to the convenience of modern life that we forget to appreciate the small things that sustain us. What if there's more to drinking water than just quenching thirst? What if there's wisdom to be found in this simple act? This is where the teachings of Stoicism offer profound insights. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in simplicity, mindfulness, and moderation, teaches us to pay attention to the ordinary and extract meaning from it. Drinking water, something we often take for granted, can become an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, to practice discipline, and to cultivate gratitude for life's simplest gifts. Most people today are focused on efficiency. We rush through meals, grab a quick drink, and move on to the next task. We rarely pause to think about the way we consume. But in this rush, we miss something crucial. Stoicism teaches us to slow down and bring awareness to everything we do. It asks us to take note of the things we often overlook, to find purpose even in the smallest actions. When you start to approach life this way, you'll see that drinking water isn't just a mechanical process. It's a moment to reflect, to be present, and to live more intentionally. There's a subtle beauty in simplicity, and that's where Stoicism excels. The Stoics believed that the key to a fulfilling life lies in focusing on what truly matters. They remind us that much of our suffering comes from chasing things we don't need or worrying about things outside our control. They urge us to return to basics, to find joy in the everyday. Drinking water, for example, can become a practice in mindful living, a moment to realign with what is essential. It teaches us to be satisfied with less, to appreciate what is already available. This shift in perspective may sound small, but it can be life-changing. Think about how often we distract ourselves with unnecessary consumption, whether it's material goods, entertainment, or even food and drink. We consume mindlessly, often more than we need, and in doing so, we lose touch with what's truly nourishing. Stoicism shows us a different way, a path of moderation and balance. It reminds us that fulfillment doesn't come from having more, but from learning to appreciate what we already have. And when we learn to practice this with something as simple as water, we can apply it to all areas of life. Stoicism isn't just about grand philosophical ideas. It's about practical wisdom that you can apply to your everyday life. Drinking water mindfully is one such practice. It's about more than staying hydrated. It's about cultivating a sense of awareness and purpose. It's about noticing the little things, the small moments that often pass by unnoticed. The next time you reach for a glass of water, consider this. What are you truly thirsty for? Are you drinking because your body needs it, or because it's become a habit? In this small act, there's a lesson about listening to your body, about understanding your needs rather than mindlessly fulfilling desires. The Stoics teach us that wisdom comes from paying attention to our thoughts, our actions, and our surroundings. When we drink water, we have a choice. We can do it out of habit, or we can do it with awareness, appreciating the nourishment it provides. This isn't just about water, it's a metaphor for how we live our lives. The more aware we become, the more we can appreciate the present moment and all it offers. There's also a deeper layer to this. Drinking water mindfully reminds us of our connection to the world around us. Water is a gift from nature, something we share with every living being on this planet. When we take the time to appreciate it, we tap into something bigger than ourselves. We become more conscious of the world, of the resources we have, and of the responsibility we bear to use them wisely. Stoicism teaches that we should never take anything for granted, and this includes the simple act of drinking water. Gratitude is a key element of Stoic practice. The Stoics believed that we should be grateful for everything in life, even the smallest things. Drinking water can be a reminder of this principle. Each sip is a chance to practice gratitude, to acknowledge the abundance we often overlook. In today's world, where so many people lack access to clean water, it's easy to forget how lucky we are to have it at our fingertips. Stoicism urges us to reflect on this and to carry that sense of appreciation into our daily lives. But there's more. Stoicism is also about moderation. It warns against excess, not just in material things, but in habits and desires. Drinking too much water, just like eating too much food, can be harmful. The key is to find balance, to listen to your body and respond to its needs without overindulging. This might seem trivial, but it's a powerful lesson. Stoicism teaches us to live in harmony with nature, and that includes understanding our own natural rhythms and limits. When we learn to apply moderation to something as fundamental as drinking water, we build the foundation for a more balanced, healthier life. At its core, Stoicism is about mastering the self, learning to control desires, thoughts, and actions. Drinking water mindfully is a small but effective way to practice this mastery. It teaches discipline, patience, and self-awareness. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with distractions and excess, Stoicism offers a counterbalance. It helps us strip away what's unnecessary and focus on what truly matters. And in doing so, we find that even the simplest things, like drinking water, can bring clarity and peace. When we bring Stoic principles into our daily routines, we begin to see the world differently. Life slows down, and we start to notice the richness in everyday experiences. Drinking water becomes more than just a necessity. It becomes a practice in mindfulness, in gratitude, and in balance. It becomes a way to connect with the present moment, to listen to our bodies, and to appreciate the simplicity of life. This shift in perspective doesn't just make you healthier, it makes you wiser. It brings you closer to understanding the core of Stoic philosophy, that wisdom, peace, and fulfillment come not from external achievements, but from mastering yourself. Drinking water, a task so basic and routine, can become a daily reminder of this truth. So, as you go about your day, don't let the simplicity of drinking water fool you. There's wisdom to be found in every sip. When you drink with intention, when you practice moderation and gratitude, you're not just nourishing your body, you're cultivating a Stoic mindset. You're learning to live with purpose, to appreciate the small things, and to find balance in all aspects of life. It's a small act, but one with the power to transform how you see the world. There's a moment before the first sip, a brief pause when the cool glass meets your lips, and in that moment, something so simple can carry a deeper meaning. Most people move through life without paying attention to these small moments, missing out on the richness they offer. Water, in its purest form, is more than just a necessity. It's a chance to be fully present, to engage with the act of nourishing your body, and to practice a deeper sense of mindfulness. This is what Stoicism teaches us: to live consciously, to make each action deliberate, and to find purpose even in the most basic activities. In Stoic philosophy, every act should be approached with intention. It's not about doing more, it's about being fully engaged in what you are doing right now. Drinking water, something we do countless times a day, becomes a perfect example of how mindfulness can transform a routine into something more meaningful. It's not just about quenching thirst, it's about connecting with the present moment and understanding the value of the act itself. Conscious drinking means slowing down. In today's fast-paced world, most people consume mindlessly, whether it's food, drink, or entertainment, we're often too distracted to appreciate what we're taking in. Stoicism invites us to pause and reflect on these actions. When you drink water with purpose, you become aware of the sensation, the way it refreshes your body, the simple pleasure it brings. It's a way to practice being present and aware in all things, not just the grand moments, but the small, everyday ones too. There's a deeper lesson in this approach. Stoicism teaches that every moment is an opportunity to practice virtue. By bringing mindfulness to the act of drinking water, you are also training your mind to be more aware and attentive in other areas of life. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. Over time, this conscious approach to simple tasks like drinking water spreads into other areas of your life, helping you cultivate a mindset that is focused, deliberate, and rooted in the present. The Stoics believed in cultivating a life of simplicity, moderation, and awareness. By practicing mindful hydration, you are embodying these Stoic principles in a very practical way. Water is the most basic form of sustenance, yet it carries profound lessons if you approach it with the right mindset. In the same way, the small, seemingly insignificant moments in life can carry deep meaning when approached with purpose and awareness. Drinking water with awareness also brings a sense of gratitude into your life. The Stoics often emphasize the importance of gratitude, not just for the big things, but for everything, no matter how small. When you take a moment to appreciate the water you drink, you're reminded of how essential it is and how fortunate you are to have it. It's a simple way to practice the Stoic art of gratitude, to be thankful for the things that sustain you every day, even those you might otherwise overlook. When you drink mindfully, you also begin to reconnect with your body. In a world that encourages us to live in our heads, to stay distracted, Stoicism brings us back to the physical, to the natural rhythms of life. Your body knows what it needs, whether it's rest, nourishment, or hydration, and by practicing mindful drinking, you learn to listen to those signals more clearly. The Stoics teach us to live in harmony with nature, and this includes listening to the needs of our own bodies. Water, as simple as it may seem, becomes a tool for practicing presence, gratitude, and self-awareness. In Stoicism, the idea is not to seek out complexity, but to find wisdom in simplicity. Drinking water consciously is a reflection of that philosophy. It's about being fully aware of the moment, about understanding the impact of your actions, and about nurturing a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. Through mindful hydration, you are also training yourself to avoid excess. The Stoics warned against overindulgence, not just in luxury or wealth, but in everyday habits as well. Drinking more than your body needs, eating more than necessary, or consuming mindlessly. All of these are forms of excess. By practicing mindful hydration, you learn to tune in to your body's true needs, to drink when you are thirsty, and to stop when you are satisfied. It's a small practice, but one that teaches a powerful lesson in moderation and balance. This conscious approach to hydration aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of moderation. In Stoicism, balance is key. Excess in any form is seen as a weakness, a lack of self-control. By paying attention to how you drink water, you are also learning to control other desires and impulses. It's a way of practicing the Stoic art of self-discipline, starting with something as simple as a glass of water. This practice also helps to build mental clarity. When you are fully present in each moment, whether it's drinking water, walking, or working, you are training your mind to focus. In a world full of distractions, the ability to focus on one thing, to be completely present, is rare and powerful. Stoicism teaches that mental clarity and focus are essential for a life of virtue. By starting with small, mindful practices like drinking water with awareness, You are developing the mental discipline that will help you in other areas of life as well. There's a tranquility that comes from living this way, from being fully present in each moment. Stoicism often speaks of finding peace within, of staying calm and centered no matter what life throws at you. Mindful hydration, while seemingly small, is a step toward cultivating that inner peace. It's a reminder that peace doesn't come from external things. It comes from how you approach life, how you engage with each moment. Drinking water mindfully helps you practice this, helping you build a calm and centered mind, one sip at a time. The act of drinking water can also remind you of your connection to nature and the world around you. Water is life. Without it, none of us could survive. When you drink with awareness, you become more connected to this simple truth. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature, in understanding that we are all part of a greater whole. By appreciating the water you drink, you are also practicing this Stoic belief. You're reminded of your place in the world, of the natural cycles that sustain life, and of the importance of living in balance with the world around you. This connection to nature is not just philosophical, it's practical. When you start to appreciate the water you drink, you become more mindful of how you use resources in other areas of your life. You begin to waste less, to live more consciously, and to appreciate the things you might have taken for granted. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from understanding the world around you and your place in it, and mindful hydration is a small but powerful way to practice this understanding. As you continue to practice mindful hydration, you'll find that it has a ripple effect on other areas of your life. The awareness you bring to drinking water starts to influence how you approach other daily activities. You begin to eat more mindfully, to work with more focus, to engage with others more fully. The lessons you learn from something as simple as drinking water, presence, gratitude, moderation, start to shape how you live your life in a broader sense. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is found in everyday life, not in grand achievements or philosophical debates. It's about how you live each moment, how you approach each task, no matter how small. Drinking water with awareness is a perfect example of this. It's a small act, but one that holds deep meaning when approached with the right mindset. Through this practice, you are not just hydrating your body, you are cultivating a Stoic approach to life, one that is mindful, deliberate, and rooted in the present. The next time you reach for a glass of water, take a moment to be fully present. Feel the weight of the glass, the coolness of the water, the way it refreshes your body. It's a small moment, but one that can teach you so much. Through mindful hydration, you are practicing Stoicism in a very real, very practical way. You are learning to live with purpose, to appreciate the simple things, and to find wisdom in the everyday. Stoicism isn't just about lofty ideals, it's about how you live each day, each moment. Drinking water with awareness is a reminder of this, a small but powerful way to practice Stoic wisdom in your daily life. It's a chance to slow down, to reconnect with yourself, and to live more fully in the present. Through this practice, you'll find that even the simplest acts, like drinking water, can become a path to greater clarity, peace, and fulfillment. When we speak of hydration, it's easy to overlook the balance that lies at its core. Just like many aspects of life, too little can leave us thirsty and weak, while too much can overwhelm us. There's a delicate line that separates need from excess, and it's in finding that balance where true wisdom lies. In a world that constantly pushes us toward more consumption, more indulgence, more of everything, the Stoic principle of moderation offers a guiding light. How we drink water reflects how we live, and by learning to apply balance in this simple daily habit, we unlock the key to harmony in all aspects of life. Moderation is a central theme in Stoicism, woven into its teachings on how to live a virtuous and fulfilled life. The Stoics understood that excess in any form leads to disharmony. Whether it's indulging in food, material wealth, or even water, going beyond what is necessary disturbs the natural order of things. Stoicism teaches us that peace and contentment come from understanding our needs and fulfilling them without overindulgence. This is especially relevant when we look at something as basic as drinking water. Most people don't think twice about their water intake, either underhydrating or overhydrating based on habits or external advice rather than true physical need. The Stoic approach calls for a different mindset, one that listens closely to the body's signals. Instead of following a rigid set of rules, moderation in hydration means responding to your body's thirst with just enough to quench it, not more, not less. This practice extends beyond the physical act of drinking. It teaches you to find balance in everything you consume. Too often, society pushes the idea that more is always better. Whether it's endless cups of water to stay healthy or the pursuit of wealth, these ideals can blind us to what our bodies and minds truly require. Stoicism, however, encourages us to resist these impulses. By learning to moderate your water intake, you practice the art of restraint, which helps develop self-discipline and mindfulness in all areas of life. By drinking water only when truly needed and stopping when satisfied, you cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness. This awareness spreads into other habits: what you eat, how you work, how you approach challenges. It reminds you that overconsumption, in any form, leads to imbalance and discomfort, both physically and mentally. The balance you practice with water becomes a symbol of the balance you seek in life. By mastering this, you learn to distinguish between genuine needs and desires driven by habit or external pressures. The Stoics often spoke of living according to nature. This means recognizing the natural limits of your body and honoring them. When you drink water mindfully, you're not only hydrating your body, but also respecting its natural rhythms. There's a wisdom in the simplicity of knowing when enough is enough. Excess water, just like excess food or wealth, burdens the system, leading to discomfort or even harm. Moderation, on the other hand, nurtures your health without overwhelming it. This philosophy of moderation extends far beyond hydration. It's a reminder that in every aspect of life, from relationships to personal growth, balance is key. Stoicism teaches that when you embrace moderation, you free yourself from the need for more. You learn that contentment comes not from accumulation, but from understanding and fulfilling your true needs. This simple truth becomes clear when you practice mindful moderation in something as basic as drinking water. Water, often taken for granted, becomes a teacher in the art of balance. By drinking only what your body requires, you strengthen your ability to listen to your body, your mind, and the world around you. This practice of listening helps you attune to other areas of your life, teaching you when to act and when to pause, when to give and when to withhold. The act of balancing your water intake mirrors the balance you strive for in your daily habits and decisions. Stoicism also teaches us the dangers of excess. When we consume more than necessary, we disrupt the natural flow of life. Drinking too much water can overburden your kidneys, flush out essential nutrients, and lead to discomfort. This physical imbalance serves as a metaphor for the dangers of overindulgence in other areas. Whether it's excessive ambition, emotional attachment, or material consumption, going beyond what is needed creates imbalance and chaos in your life. The Stoic practice of moderation helps you avoid this by encouraging you to live in harmony with your natural limits. The wisdom of Stoicism lies in its practical approach to living well. It's not about deprivation, but about knowing when enough is enough. When applied to drinking water, This principle encourages you to drink mindfully, only as much as your body truly needs, and to stop once your thirst is satisfied. In this simple act, you practice restraint, which strengthens your self-control and helps you navigate other areas of life with greater wisdom. Each time you drink mindfully, you are reminded that life's satisfaction doesn't come from abundance, but from balance. By training yourself to moderate something as essential as water, you build the foundation for moderating other desires and impulses. You learn to approach everything in life with a measured, thoughtful response, rather than reacting out of habit or desire. This approach to drinking water also fosters a deeper connection with your body. As you practice moderation, you learn to trust the signals your body gives you. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from understanding yourself, and this includes understanding your body's needs. Drinking water with balance helps you cultivate a sense of trust in your own instincts, which extends to other decisions in life. You become more in tune with your natural needs, less swayed by external pressures or fleeting desires. By practicing moderation in hydration, you develop a stronger sense of discipline. Discipline is one of the core virtues in Stoicism, and it's essential for living a life of purpose and clarity. When you can control your impulses in small things, like how much water you drink, you build the strength to control your actions in larger, more significant areas of life. It's a practice that strengthens your willpower, helping you stay focused on what truly matters. The lessons of moderation you learn from drinking water also apply to emotional and mental habits. Just as overconsumption of water can harm the body, overindulgence in thoughts or emotions can overwhelm the mind. Stoicism teaches that moderation in all things leads to inner peace. By practicing moderation in your physical habits, you develop the mental clarity to recognize when you are emotionally overextending yourself, whether it's by dwelling on negative thoughts or overanalyzing a situation. This awareness helps you maintain balance, both physically and mentally. Moderation also helps you maintain a sense of gratitude. When you drink water mindfully and in balance, you become more aware of how precious and necessary it is. You appreciate each sip, knowing that it fulfills your need without overburdening your system. This gratitude can extend to other areas of your life as well. By living with balance, you become more grateful for what you have, rather than constantly seeking more. Living with moderation, as Stoicism teaches, brings you closer to a life of contentment. It helps you step away from the never-ending cycle of wanting more and allows you to focus on what truly matters. Drinking water becomes more than just a physical act. It becomes a reminder of the balance you need in every part of your life. By practicing moderation, you not only nourish your body, but also your mind and spirit. In the end, moderation is about harmony. It's about aligning your actions with your true needs and finding peace in the process. Drinking water in balance teaches you to slow down, to listen, and to appreciate the simple things. It reminds you that life is not about excess, but about understanding what is truly enough. Through this practice, you cultivate a Stoic mindset, one that values restraint, mindfulness, and gratitude. In a world that often pushes us toward overconsumption, the Stoic principle of moderation offers a way to find balance and peace. By practicing moderation in something as simple as drinking water, you strengthen your ability to live with purpose, clarity, and contentment. This balance, once learned, becomes a guiding force in all areas of your life, helping you live in harmony with yourself and the world around you. As we continue exploring how Stoicism applies to the everyday, there's a deeper wisdom that goes beyond the balance we strike. It's about learning to truly listen to ourselves, to our bodies, and to the natural needs we often overlook. The Stoics believed that nature provides us with all the signals we need, but in the rush of life, we tend to ignore them. Our bodies, however, are constantly communicating with us, asking for rest, nourishment, and care. The question is, are we listening? Attuning to these signals is not just about survival, it's about understanding ourselves on a profound level. There's something powerful in trusting what our bodies tell us, a wisdom that the Stoics held in high regard. When we drink water, it's easy to see it as just quenching a thirst. But thirst itself is a signal, a reminder from the body that it requires something to keep functioning. In today's world, where distractions are endless and habits are often automated, we've become disconnected from these natural cues. We drink when a health expert tells us to, or when we're carrying a water bottle out of habit. Rarely do we pause to ask ourselves, am I actually thirsty? This disconnection from our bodies is what Stoicism seeks to correct. It teaches us to be present, to listen carefully, and to respond not based on external advice, but on our internal wisdom. Our bodies are equipped with an incredible system of communication. Just as thirst alerts us to the need for hydration, hunger signals our need for food, and fatigue reminds us to rest. These signals are simple yet essential for maintaining balance in our lives. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature, and our bodies are a part of that natural order. When we ignore these signals, we disrupt that harmony, creating discomfort and imbalance. Listening to your body is an exercise in trust. It's about learning to honor the needs of your body as a vital part of living in accordance with nature. This practice of attuning to your natural needs starts with awareness. When you feel thirsty, pause for a moment before reaching for water. Ask yourself whether it's true thirst or simply a habit. This moment of reflection aligns with the Stoic idea of mindfulness, where every action is done with purpose. It's not about mindlessly following impulses, but about discerning what your body truly requires. This discernment sharpens your ability to connect with yourself on a deeper level, making each decision, even the small ones, more intentional and aligned with your needs. There's a certain humility that comes with acknowledging that your body knows what it needs better than any external advice could tell you. We live in a time where information is abundant. There are countless articles, diets, and experts telling us how much water to drink, how often to eat, and how much rest to get. Yet, in the pursuit of health, we've forgotten to listen to the most reliable guide we have, our own bodies. The Stoics would remind us that wisdom is not found in following the crowd, but in understanding ourselves deeply enough to know what is truly needed. In trusting the body's signals, you develop a greater sense of self-awareness. This isn't just about thirst or hunger. It extends to how you feel in any given moment. Do you need to rest because your mind feels scattered, or is your body signaling that it's time to move after hours of sitting? Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from self-mastery, and self-mastery begins with awareness. The more you practice listening to your body, the more connected you become with its natural rhythms, and the easier it is to respond to life's demands with clarity and calmness. Listening to your body is not just about responding to its immediate needs, it's about cultivating a long-term relationship with yourself. Just as the Stoics practiced daily reflection on their thoughts and actions, attuning to your body requires ongoing attention. Each day presents new signals, new needs, and new opportunities to practice this awareness. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. You begin to anticipate what your body needs before it even signals you, creating a harmonious balance between mind and body that allows you to live more peacefully and effectively. This harmony is essential in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that living well means living in accordance with nature, and our bodies are an inseparable part of that natural world. When we listen to our bodies, we are living in alignment with the natural order. This doesn't mean indulging every craving or whim, but rather understanding what is necessary for balance and well-being. The more we tune into these signals, the more we develop a sense of self-trust, knowing that we can rely on our bodies to guide us toward what is right. Another layer of this practice involves understanding the difference between real needs and habits. Often, we drink water, eat, or rest out of habit, not out of necessity. Stoicism encourages us to break free from automatic behaviors and to make conscious choices. When you drink water because your body genuinely needs it, you're honoring that Stoic principle of purposefulness in action. But when you drink out of habit, without thinking, you disconnect from that awareness. Learning to differentiate between habit and need is crucial in developing a deeper understanding of yourself. The Stoic practice of listening to your body also teaches patience. The signals your body gives are often subtle, and it requires patience to learn how to interpret them correctly. It's not always clear whether what you're feeling is true hunger, thirst, or fatigue. By practicing patience, you give yourself the space to reflect, to listen more closely, and to respond in a way that honors your body's true needs. This patience translates into other areas of life as well, teaching you to pause before reacting, to consider the wisest course of action, and to respond from a place of calm rather than impulse. Listening to your body also cultivates a deeper sense of gratitude. When you become more attuned to your natural needs, you develop a greater appreciation for the ways your body supports you. Each time you respond to thirst with water, you are reminded of the gift that water provides, sustaining your body and allowing you to function. This gratitude aligns with Stoicism's emphasis on appreciating life's simple, essential gifts. The more you listen, the more you realize how much your body does for you, and this awareness fosters a sense of gratitude for the small things we often overlook. In practicing this awareness, you also begin to notice how external factors can affect your body's signals. Stress, for example, can blur the lines between true hunger and emotional eating, or between real fatigue and the desire to escape a difficult situation. Stoicism teaches us to develop resilience in the face of external pressures, and listening to your body is a key part of building that resilience. By understanding when your body is responding to genuine needs versus external stresses, you gain the power to respond wisely and intentionally rather than being swept up in reactions. This practice of tuning in also teaches humility. We often believe that we can push our bodies beyond their limits, ignoring fatigue or hunger in the name of productivity or discipline. But the Stoics remind us that true strength comes from recognizing our limitations and respecting them. There's a certain wisdom in knowing when to rest, when to eat, and when to hydrate. It's not weakness to honor your body's needs. It's a sign of self-awareness and respect. By listening to your body, you learn to live in harmony with it, rather than constantly fighting against its natural rhythms. Attuning to your natural needs also helps you cultivate self-compassion. In a world that often glorifies pushing through discomfort and ignoring signals of fatigue, Stoicism teaches a different approach. It reminds us that taking care of ourselves is not a sign of indulgence, but a form of wisdom. By practicing self-compassion and listening to your body, you create a foundation for greater resilience, strength, and peace. You give yourself permission to rest when needed, to nourish yourself without guilt, and to honor the natural limits of your body. There's also an element of self-trust that grows from this practice. As you become more attuned to your body's signals, you learn to trust yourself more deeply. You no longer rely on external advice to tell you when to eat, drink, or rest. You know your body well enough to understand what it needs. This self-trust extends beyond physical needs. The more you practice listening to your body, the more you develop confidence in your ability to navigate challenges, make decisions, and trust your own judgment. This self-reliance is a core tenet of Stoicism, and it begins with understanding and trusting yourself. By consistently practicing this mindful awareness, you begin to see the connections between how you treat your body and how you experience the world. When you listen to your body, you live more harmoniously, not just within yourself, but in your interactions with others and the world around you. This practice fosters a deeper sense of balance, which is essential for living a life rooted in Stoic principles. It teaches you that wisdom comes not from overthinking or overanalyzing, but from paying attention to the simple truths that your body offers every day. In listening to your body, you are not just responding to its needs. You are honoring a Stoic belief that true wisdom comes from understanding the natural world and living in harmony with it. Your body is a part of that natural world, and by attuning to it, you live in accordance with nature, just as the Stoics intended. This practice is not about perfection or control, but about cultivating a relationship of trust, awareness, and respect with yourself. And through this relationship, you find a deeper sense of peace, balance, and well-being. In our journey through the wisdom of Stoicism, the lessons become clearer with each step. We've learned to listen to the body, to respond with awareness, and to find balance in moderation. Yet, there's another layer to this practice that reveals even deeper insights: simplicity. In a world that constantly pushes us toward more food, more variety, more indulgence, the Stoics remind us that the greatest nourishment often comes from what is pure and simple. When we strip away excess, we not only ease the burden on our bodies, but also free our minds to focus on what truly matters. Simplicity is not about deprivation. It's about returning to the basics, about understanding that the simplest things in life are often the most profound. Stoic philosophy emphasizes this time and again. We don't need extravagant meals or elaborate diets to sustain ourselves. Instead, Stoicism teaches that pure and simple sustenance is the key to maintaining balance and clarity. When we look at the food and drink we consume through this lens, we see how much we overcomplicate something that could be so natural. The food we eat and the water we drink are vital to our survival, but they are also opportunities to practice mindfulness. By choosing pure and simple options, we align ourselves with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. Processed foods and artificial additives may satisfy cravings, but they clutter both the body and the mind. When we consume food that is closer to its natural state, we nurture a deeper connection with the world around us. This is not just about health, it's about honoring the simplicity of life itself. Stoicism teaches that our desires often lead us astray. We are driven by the urge to indulge, to seek out rich and complex foods, thinking they will bring us happiness or satisfaction. Yet, time and again, these indulgences leave us feeling heavy, both physically and mentally. The Stoic approach calls for a return to simplicity, where sustenance is about meeting our needs, not overindulging our wants. In the process, we discover that simplicity brings a sense of calm and contentment that indulgence never can. This principle can be seen in the practice of mindful eating. When we slow down and focus on the act of nourishing ourselves, we begin to appreciate the simple pleasures of food and drink. A glass of pure water or a plate of fresh, unprocessed food becomes more than just fuel for the body. It becomes a moment of connection, a chance to be fully present. The Stoics understood that these small, simple acts can have a profound impact on our well-being, and they encouraged us to approach them with the same care and attention we bring to the bigger decisions in life. There's a wisdom in simplicity that goes beyond the physical. When we consume pure and simple foods, we also clear space in our minds. Just as clutter in our environment can create mental stress, complexity in our diets can overwhelm us. The Stoics believed that by simplifying what we consume, we free ourselves from unnecessary distractions and worries. We no longer need to think about elaborate meals or endless choices. We simply focus on what is essential. This frees up mental energy that can be used for more meaningful pursuits, like self-reflection or personal growth. The simplicity of sustenance also fosters a deeper sense of gratitude. When we strip away excess and focus on what is pure, we begin to appreciate the true value of what we have. A simple meal becomes a source of nourishment and a reminder of the abundance provided by nature. Stoicism teaches us to be grateful for what we have, rather than always seeking more. By embracing simplicity, we cultivate this sense of gratitude in every meal, every sip of water, and every act of nourishment. Living simply also aligns with the Stoic value of self-discipline. It takes discipline to choose simplicity in a world that constantly tempts us with more. Fast food, processed snacks, and sugary drinks are all around us, promising quick satisfaction. But Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes from exercising control over our desires. When we practice simplicity in what we consume, we strengthen our ability to resist temptation and to make choices that are in line with our long-term well-being. There is also a sense of freedom in simplicity. When we rely on pure, unprocessed foods and simple hydration, we free ourselves from the constant search for variety and complexity. We no longer need to chase after the next exciting meal or drink. Instead, we find satisfaction in the basics. This freedom is a key component of Stoic philosophy, which teaches that the less we are tied to external desires, the more liberated we become. In this way, simplicity in sustenance is not just about health, it's about living a freer, more purposeful life. The Stoics also remind us that by consuming less, we create less waste. In modern society, overconsumption often leads to excess waste, both in terms of food and resources. Simplicity helps us live more sustainably, making choices that benefit not only ourselves, but also the environment. By choosing simple, whole foods and avoiding unnecessary packaging or wasteful habits, we practice Stoic principles in a way that extends beyond ourselves and into the world around us. Simplicity also encourages mindfulness in how we approach our meals. Instead of rushing through a meal or mindlessly snacking, Stoicism asks us to bring awareness to each bite, each sip. By doing so, we learn to savor what we consume and to appreciate the nourishment it provides. This mindful approach allows us to tune in to our body's needs and to respond with care, rather than simply reacting to cravings or external pressures. In practicing simplicity, we also avoid the pitfalls of overindulgence. Stoicism warns against the dangers of excess, not only because it leads to physical discomfort, but because it clouds the mind. Overeating, indulging in rich or overly complex foods, and consuming more than we need can dull our senses and distract us from our true purpose. Simplicity, on the other hand, sharpens our focus and helps us stay aligned with our values. The Stoics valued a life of virtue and wisdom, and simplicity in sustenance supports this goal. When we are not bogged down by the complexities of what we consume, we have more clarity to pursue the things that truly matter. We are less distracted by the superficial and more in tune with the deeper aspects of life. This clarity allows us to make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than being driven by temporary desires. By embracing simplicity, we also cultivate contentment. Stoicism teaches that contentment comes not from external possessions or experiences, but from within. When we learn to be satisfied with simple, pure sustenance, we realize that we don't need as much as we once thought. This realization brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that goes far beyond the temporary pleasure of indulgence. In this way, simplicity in sustenance becomes a practice in self-mastery. The Stoics believed that self-mastery was essential to living a virtuous life, and choosing simplicity is one way to develop this skill. Each time we choose a simple meal over an indulgent one, or opt for pure water over sugary drinks, we strengthen our ability to control our desires. This self-mastery extends beyond food and drink. It becomes a tool we can use in all areas of life. Simplicity also brings us closer to nature. The more we simplify what we consume, the more we align ourselves with the natural world. Whole foods, fresh water, and simple meals connect us to the earth and its rhythms. Stoicism teaches that living in harmony with nature is key to living a fulfilled life. By consuming pure, natural foods and drinks, we deepen this connection and create a sense of harmony within ourselves. In practicing simplicity, we also reduce the stress that comes from overcomplication. Planning elaborate meals or constantly seeking new and exciting foods can create unnecessary pressure. Stoicism encourages us to let go of these complications and to find peace in what is simple and essential. When we approach sustenance with this mindset, we free ourselves from the stress of overthinking and allow ourselves to be nourished in a way that is calm and steady. This simplicity also extends to how we view food and drink as a source of joy. The Stoics believed that true joy comes from within, not from external sources. When we simplify what we consume, we discover that we don't need extravagant meals or fancy drinks to find pleasure. A simple, well-prepared meal or a refreshing glass of water can bring just as much, if not more, satisfaction when approached with mindfulness and gratitude. Simplicity in sustenance teaches us that life's greatest pleasures often come from what is most natural and pure. When we strip away the distractions and complications, we find that the basics are more than enough. This realization is freeing, as it allows us to focus on the things that truly matter: our health, our relationships, our personal growth, without being weighed down by the endless pursuit of more. In living simply, we also develop a deeper respect for the resources we consume. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our impact on the world around us, and this includes how we use food and water. By choosing simplicity, we consume less, waste less, and live more sustainably. This mindful approach benefits not only ourselves, but also the planet, aligning us with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. Ultimately, simplicity in sustenance is about returning to what is essential. Stoicism reminds us that we don't need to complicate our lives with excess or indulgence. Pure, simple food and drink are enough to sustain us, both physically and mentally. By embracing this simplicity, we create space for greater clarity, peace, and purpose in our lives. We learn to appreciate the basics, to find joy in the essentials, and to live in a way that is aligned with the natural world and our true selves. The beauty of simplicity reveals a deeper truth. It allows us to live in moderation, the very foundation of Stoic wisdom. As we peel back the layers of complexity, we realize that excess in any form weighs us down, clouds our judgment, and distances us from living a life of purpose. This is especially true when it comes to our health and the way we approach something as essential as hydration. In a world that glorifies abundance and overindulgence, Stoicism teaches us the importance of moderation, not just in our desires, but in how we care for our bodies. The path to well-being, both physically and mentally, is paved with balance, and in the case of hydration, it's not about drinking more, but drinking just enough. When we think of excess, the first things that come to mind are often material possessions or lavish lifestyles. Yet, excess seeps into the most basic aspects of our lives, sometimes without us even realizing it. Hydration is one such area where excess can quietly take hold. In today's world, we're constantly reminded to drink more water, with countless articles, apps, and health trends urging us to stay hydrated at all costs. But the Stoic approach asks us to pause and question, is more always better? Just as overindulgence in food can lead to discomfort and imbalance, drinking too much water can overwhelm the body, leading to consequences we might not immediately see. Moderation is at the heart of Stoicism, and it's through moderation that we find harmony with nature, including our own physical nature. Drinking water is vital, but there is a point where even this essential element, when consumed in excess, can tip the balance. Our bodies are finely tuned to signal us when we need water, just as they signal us when we are full or tired. Ignoring these signals and simply following a rule of more is better can lead us away from the natural wisdom that Stoicism teaches. Listening to the body's signals, as we've explored, is key to maintaining balance, and hydration is no different. Thirst is a natural response, a reminder from the body that it needs replenishment. But drinking without thirst, just for the sake of meeting an arbitrary goal, can dull this natural connection. The Stoics believed in respecting the body's needs, understanding when it truly requires something, and not giving in to excess simply because it's what society tells us. Moderation in hydration, then, is about tuning in to your body's unique needs rather than following external pressures. There is a fine line between what our bodies need and what we believe they need. Overhydration, while not as commonly discussed, can disrupt the body's natural balance just as dehydration can. It can lead to issues like hyponatremia, where the balance of electrolytes is thrown off by excessive water intake. This is a reminder that even something as pure and necessary as water should be approached with moderation. Stoicism teaches that wisdom lies in understanding our natural limits, and part of that wisdom is recognizing when we've had enough, even with something as simple as water. The broader lesson here is that excess, in any form, disrupts the equilibrium that Stoicism advocates. Whether it's overindulging in food, material goods, or even health practices, going beyond what is necessary leads to imbalance and, ultimately, discomfort. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a sense of discipline and self-awareness that allows us to recognize when we've crossed that line. In the case of hydration, this means trusting our bodies and responding appropriately rather than giving in to the societal push for more, always more. It's also important to consider the emotional and psychological effects of excess. Overconsumption, whether of food, water, or other resources, often stems from a place of anxiety or fear. We drink more water not because we're truly thirsty, but because we're afraid of being dehydrated or missing out on some health benefit. This anxiety-driven behavior is exactly what the Stoics warned against. Stoicism teaches that inner peace comes from controlling our desires, not letting them control us. By practicing moderation in hydration, we release ourselves from the grip of unnecessary fear and instead cultivate a calm and measured approach to our well-being. Hydration, when approached with moderation, becomes a practice in mindfulness. When you drink only when your body signals the need, you are practicing a form of Stoic mindfulness that keeps you grounded in the present moment. You are no longer drinking because of external expectations or fear of missing out. You are drinking because your body has communicated a need, and you are responding to that need with care and attention. This mindful approach to hydration is a small but powerful way to live according to the Stoic principle of aligning your actions with your inner wisdom. This practice also fosters a sense of gratitude. When you approach hydration with moderation, each sip of water is appreciated for what it is, a necessary and valuable resource. You are no longer mindlessly consuming, but are instead fully aware of the value that water brings to your body. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate the simple things in life, and by practicing moderation, we create space for gratitude. This gratitude then extends beyond hydration and into other areas of life, helping us cultivate a mindset of appreciation rather than one of excess and overconsumption. There's also a deeper sense of freedom that comes from embracing moderation. When we are constantly chasing more, whether it's more water, more food, or more possessions, we become trapped in a cycle of wanting and dissatisfaction. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from needing less. By drinking only what your body needs, you free yourself from the endless pursuit of more and instead find contentment in the simplicity of meeting your true needs. This freedom is one of the greatest gifts that Stoicism offers, and it begins with small, mindful practices like moderating your hydration. The discipline required to practice moderation in hydration also strengthens your ability to moderate other habits in life. Each time you listen to your body and drink just enough, you are training your mind to resist the pull of excess in other areas as well. This discipline extends to how you eat, how you work, and even how you respond to emotional triggers. By practicing moderation in one area, you create a ripple effect that enhances your ability to live a balanced and harmonious life in all aspects. The Stoics believed that moderation is not only a key to physical health, but also to mental clarity. Overindulgence clouds the mind and creates distraction, whereas moderation brings focus and peace. When you drink in moderation, you are not only caring for your body, but also fostering a sense of mental clarity that allows you to engage more fully with life. This clarity is essential for living a life of purpose and virtue, as it allows you to make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than impulse. In this way, moderation in hydration becomes a metaphor for living a balanced life. Just as you wouldn't flood your body with more water than it needs, you wouldn't flood your mind with unnecessary distractions or your life with unnecessary possessions. Stoicism teaches that balance is the key to well-being, and by practicing moderation in the small things, like drinking water, you develop the ability to maintain balance in the larger, more complex areas of life. There's also an important connection between moderation and self-respect. When you approach hydration with moderation, you are respecting your body's natural limits. You are acknowledging that your body knows what it needs and that you trust it to guide you. This respect for your body fosters a deeper sense of self-worth and self-care, both of which are essential components of Stoic living. By respecting your body's needs and avoiding excess, you are practicing a form of self-love that is rooted in wisdom and care. Practicing moderation in hydration also teaches patience. It can be tempting to drink more than necessary, especially when we are constantly told to stay hydrated. But Stoicism encourages us to pause, to reflect, and to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By practicing patience and drinking only when truly needed, you cultivate the Stoic virtue of temperance, which teaches that true strength comes from controlling your desires and acting with purpose. This patience, combined with self-awareness, creates a sense of inner stability. When you are not swayed by external pressures to drink more water than you need, you develop a sense of confidence in your own judgment. This inner stability allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease, knowing that you are in control of your actions and are not being led by fear or external influences. The Stoic principle of moderation also aligns with the idea of sustainability. In a world where resources are often taken for granted, practicing moderation in hydration teaches us to be mindful of our impact on the environment. By drinking only what we need, we reduce waste and contribute to a more sustainable way of living. This aligns with the Stoic belief that we are all part of a greater whole, and that our actions should reflect a respect for the world around us. In the end, avoiding excess in hydration is about more than just drinking water. It's about cultivating a mindset of balance and self-awareness that extends to all areas of life. By practicing moderation, you are not only caring for your body, but also developing the virtues of patience, discipline, and gratitude. These virtues, when practiced consistently, create a foundation for a life of clarity, purpose, and peace. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes not from indulgence, but from understanding and living in harmony with your natural limits. By embracing moderation in hydration, you are taking a step toward this harmony, aligning your actions with your body's needs and freeing yourself from the endless pursuit of more. This practice of moderation, though seemingly small, has the power to transform the way you live, bringing you closer to the Stoic ideal of living a life of virtue, wisdom, and balance. Having explored the importance of moderation, a deeper layer of understanding begins to unfold. Stoicism not only teaches us to balance our physical needs, but also helps us realize the profound connection between our minds and bodies. Every action, no matter how small, is a reflection of that connection, and something as simple as drinking water can reveal the unity between mental clarity and physical well-being. There is a quiet wisdom in recognizing that the way we treat our bodies directly influences our state of mind, and vice versa. The act of drinking water, when approached with Stoic awareness, becomes more than just a physical necessity. It becomes a practice that nourishes both the body and the mind. In Stoic philosophy, one of the central tenets is the cultivation of awareness. This awareness applies to every aspect of life, from how we think to how we engage with the world around us. When we bring awareness to the act of drinking water, we deepen our connection to both our physical bodies and our mental state. The simple act of hydration becomes a moment to reflect, to be present, and to honor the unity between mind and body. By drinking mindfully, we are not only taking care of our physical needs, but also grounding ourselves in the present moment, clearing the mental clutter that often clouds our thinking. Water, as essential as it is, has a way of grounding us when we pause to drink it with intention. The sensation of cool water quenching our thirst is both a physical and mental experience. The body feels immediate relief, but the mind also benefits from the simplicity and purity of the act. Stoicism teaches that every moment, no matter how ordinary, can be infused with meaning when approached with the right mindset. Drinking water becomes an opportunity to cultivate a calm, focused awareness that brings harmony to both body and mind. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature, and part of that philosophy is recognizing that the mind and body are deeply interconnected. When the body is hydrated, nourished, and cared for, the mind can function more clearly. Conversely, when the mind is calm and focused, the body responds with greater ease and balance. Drinking water mindfully strengthens this connection, reminding us that taking care of one part of ourselves inevitably benefits the other. This harmonious relationship between mind and body is at the core of Stoic thought. When we drink without thought, simply going through the motions, we miss out on the deeper connection that Stoicism encourages. But when we bring full awareness to the act, we create space for reflection and stillness. This is not just about being present in the moment, it's about fostering a sense of control over our internal and external experiences. The Stoics taught that we have power over our reactions, and by drinking water with awareness, we practice mastering our minds. Each sip becomes a deliberate choice to be present, to care for the body, and to quiet the mind. This mindful approach to hydration also offers a way to build resilience. When the mind and body are in sync, we are better equipped to handle challenges and stress. Just as the body needs water to function at its best, the mind needs clarity and focus to navigate life's difficulties. Stoicism teaches that resilience comes from within, and by cultivating a strong mind-body connection, we develop the inner strength needed to face adversity. Drinking water with this awareness reinforces the idea that small, mindful actions contribute to our overall well-being and ability to handle life's challenges. Moreover, the act of drinking water can serve as a reminder of the impermanence of both physical and mental states. Just as thirst is temporary and can be relieved with water, mental unrest is also transient. Stoicism encourages us to accept the ebb and flow of emotions and physical sensations, understanding that nothing is permanent. By being aware of this as we hydrate, we are reminded that, just as water restores balance to the body, a calm and mindful approach can restore balance to the mind. There's also a sense of humility that arises when we acknowledge the simplicity of drinking water as an act of care for both body and mind. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom lies in recognizing how little we truly need to be at peace. In a world that often encourages excess and complexity, the act of drinking water becomes a practice in humility. We realize that the simplest things, like staying hydrated, are enough to bring balance and well-being. This humility helps quiet the mind's constant drive for more, allowing us to find contentment in the present moment and in the basic care of our bodies. This practice also sharpens our ability to focus. The Stoics often spoke of the importance of mental clarity, and the connection between a healthy body and a clear mind cannot be ignored. When we are dehydrated or neglect our physical needs, the mind suffers. Concentration wanes, thoughts become scattered, and we lose the ability to make wise decisions. By maintaining a healthy balance through mindful hydration, we support our mental faculties, ensuring that we can approach life's challenges with the clarity and wisdom that Stoicism demands. When we speak of Stoicism, we often focus on the mental virtues, discipline, resilience, wisdom, but the philosophy never neglects the body. The Stoics recognized that the mind and body are not separate. They influence each other in profound ways. Drinking water, while simple, becomes a symbolic act that nurtures both. The body is sustained, and the mind, through the practice of awareness, is sharpened. This dual nourishment helps us cultivate the inner calm and outer strength that are so central to Stoic philosophy. The process of hydration, when done with full awareness, also teaches patience. It's easy to rush through the act of drinking, to take large gulps without thought. But Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from slowing down. By drinking slowly, mindfully, we practice the virtue of patience, allowing ourselves to be fully present with the experience. This patience extends beyond hydration, helping us approach other aspects of life with the same calm and measured pace. By practicing patience in small acts, like drinking water, we prepare ourselves to handle larger challenges with grace. Another key aspect of Stoicism is the acceptance of what is beyond our control. While we can control how and when we hydrate, we cannot control the body's need for water or the mind's response to it. This acceptance is central to Stoic thought. By drinking water with awareness, we practice accepting the natural rhythms of our bodies and minds. We honor the fact that both require care and attention, and we relinquish the need to control every aspect of the experience. This acceptance brings peace, as we learn to live in harmony with our natural needs rather than resisting them. The mind-body connection that Stoicism emphasizes also teaches us about balance. Just as too little water can lead to dehydration and too much can overwhelm the body, the mind also requires balance. Overloading the mind with worries or information can be just as harmful as neglecting it. The act of drinking water, when approached mindfully, mirrors this need for balance. It reminds us that the key to a healthy life, both physically and mentally, lies in moderation and awareness. The more we practice balancing our physical and mental needs, the more aligned we become with Stoic principles. This alignment extends to how we handle emotions. Just as water flows naturally and finds its own balance, our emotions, when acknowledged and accepted, can do the same. Stoicism teaches us not to suppress our feelings, but to observe them with detachment and understanding. In the same way that we listen to our body's need for water, we can listen to our emotional needs, responding with calm and care rather than reacting impulsively. This practice helps us stay grounded, even in difficult times, as we develop a stronger connection between our physical and emotional well-being. By practicing this awareness, we also foster a deeper sense of gratitude for the simple things that sustain us. Drinking water mindfully reminds us of the gift that hydration brings, and this gratitude helps shift our focus away from what we lack to what we have. Stoicism encourages us to appreciate the present moment, to find contentment in what is, rather than constantly striving for more. Drinking water with awareness becomes a practice in gratitude, helping us cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. This practice of mind-body connection through hydration also enhances our ability to care for ourselves in other ways. When we learn to listen to our bodies and respond with mindful hydration, we are better equipped to understand other physical needs, whether it's rest, nourishment, or movement. The more we practice this awareness, the more attuned we become to the natural signals our bodies send us, and the easier it is to make choices that support our overall well-being. Ultimately, the act of drinking water with Stoic awareness is about cultivating a deeper connection to ourselves. It's about recognizing that the way we care for our bodies reflects the way we care for our minds. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from understanding and honoring this connection, from seeing the body and mind as two parts of a whole. Each sip of water, when taken with awareness, becomes a moment of self-care, a reminder of the balance we strive for in all aspects of life. By bringing full attention to the act of drinking water, we practice Stoic principles of mindfulness, patience, balance, and gratitude. We nourish not only our physical selves, but also our mental and emotional well-being. This practice helps us live more intentionally, aligning our actions with our values and fostering a sense of peace and clarity that extends far beyond the simple act of hydration. As we deepen our understanding of the connection between mind and body, a new layer of practice emerges, the art of ritual. Rituals, especially in Stoicism, are not elaborate or grand gestures. Instead, they are the simple, everyday acts infused with presence and intention. Drinking water, something so basic, can become a meaningful ritual when we bring Stoic awareness into it. By treating this routine as a purposeful act, we transform the ordinary into a moment of mindfulness, grounding ourselves in the present while nurturing a deeper sense of peace and clarity. Stoicism reminds us that life is built on small moments, and when we treat those moments with reverence, we cultivate a life rooted in purpose. Ritualizing something as simple as drinking water isn't about adding unnecessary steps or turning it into a formal ceremony. Instead, it's about slowing down and giving full attention to what we are doing. Stoicism teaches that every act, no matter how routine, can hold significance if approached with awareness. When we drink water with intention, we are practicing presence, fully engaging with the moment, focusing on the sensation, and recognizing the value of what we are doing. This presence brings us closer to the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature and embracing simplicity. The ritual of drinking water starts with a pause. Before taking a sip, we allow ourselves a brief moment of stillness. In that pause, we acknowledge the act we're about to perform. This may seem insignificant, but it's in these small moments of mindfulness that we cultivate deeper awareness. The Stoics believed that much of life's wisdom comes from paying attention to what is often overlooked. By ritualizing the simple act of drinking water, we train ourselves to be more attuned to the present, finding meaning in the smallest details. This practice of pausing before drinking water also serves as a reminder to appreciate the simplicity of the moment. In a world where we are constantly rushing from one task to another, pausing allows us to break the cycle of distraction and bring our focus back to what is immediately in front of us. This act of mindfulness creates a space for calm, where we can clear away mental clutter and fully engage with the act of nourishing our bodies. The Stoics understood that presence is not just about awareness, but about cultivating a sense of peace in each moment. By turning something as basic as drinking water into a ritual, we also develop a deeper sense of gratitude. Each sip becomes a reminder of the gift that water is, something we may otherwise take for granted. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate the small, essential things in life, recognizing their value even when they seem ordinary. Ritualizing our daily acts helps us bring this gratitude into our routine, transforming the mundane into something more profound. The more we practice this gratitude, the more we foster a mindset of abundance, appreciating the resources and moments we have rather than always seeking more. In practicing this presence, we also strengthen our ability to concentrate. Rituals, by their nature, require focus. When we treat drinking water as a ritual, we commit ourselves fully to the act, clearing our minds of distractions and giving our attention to what we are doing. This practice enhances our ability to focus on other tasks as well, helping us build the mental discipline that Stoicism encourages. By training our minds to focus on the simple act of hydration, we create the foundation for greater clarity and productivity in other areas of life. The beauty of ritualizing simple acts lies in the way it grounds us. In the hustle of daily life, it's easy to feel disconnected from ourselves and from the world around us. But when we turn everyday acts like drinking water into moments of presence, we reconnect with the present moment. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we engage with each moment. Rituals help us practice this control, bringing us back to the present and reminding us that peace can be found in even the most ordinary tasks. There's also a sense of humility that arises when we ritualize simple acts. Drinking water in itself is not a grand gesture, but it is essential. When we approach it with reverence, we acknowledge that even the most basic needs deserve our attention and care. This humility aligns with Stoic teachings, which remind us that wisdom comes not from chasing after what is extraordinary, but from recognizing the value in what is already before us. By turning our attention to the simplest acts, we practice humility and gratitude, realizing that fulfillment often comes from the small, everyday moments. Ritualizing daily acts like drinking water also helps us cultivate patience. In a world that encourages speed and efficiency, taking time to treat a simple task with care feels almost countercultural. Yet Stoicism teaches that patience is a virtue worth developing. By slowing down and ritualizing the things we might otherwise rush through, we learn to appreciate the process rather than just the outcome. This practice of patience extends beyond hydration and into other areas of life, helping us approach challenges and decisions with calm and deliberate thought. There's also a connection between ritual and self-discipline. The Stoics valued discipline as one of the core virtues necessary for living a life of purpose. When we ritualize simple acts like drinking water, we practice self-discipline by committing to the act with full attention. This discipline, though seemingly small, strengthens our ability to stay focused and intentional in other aspects of life. Each time we perform a ritual with mindfulness, we reinforce the habits of discipline and awareness, which are essential for living in accordance with Stoic principles. By turning drinking water into a ritual, we also bring a sense of meaning to what might otherwise be a mindless task. Stoicism teaches that life is not about the grand moments, but about how we approach the everyday. Ritualizing simple acts gives us a way to bring meaning into our daily routines, helping us live with greater intention and purpose. Each time we perform a ritual, we remind ourselves that life's richness is found in the way we engage with the present moment, not in the pursuit of future goals or external rewards. In many ways, ritualizing simple acts is a practice in mindfulness. When we drink water with intention, we are fully present in the moment, aware of the sensations, the experience, and the significance of what we are doing. This mindfulness helps us stay grounded in the present, freeing us from the distractions of worry or regret. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from living in the present, and rituals provide a way to practice this presence consistently. This presence also enhances our ability to listen to ourselves. When we treat drinking water as a ritual, we are more attuned to our bodies and minds, recognizing when we need nourishment and responding with care. This awareness fosters a deeper connection between mind and body, helping us make decisions that support our overall well-being. Rituals, by their nature, encourage us to slow down and pay attention, which is a key component of Stoic wisdom. Another important aspect of ritualizing simple acts is that it teaches us to find joy in the ordinary. Stoicism reminds us that happiness does not come from external sources, but from within. By turning something as basic as drinking water into a mindful ritual, we create opportunities to experience joy in the small, everyday moments. This joy comes not from the act itself, but from the attention and care we bring to it. Each sip of water, when taken with presence, becomes a moment of peace and satisfaction. This practice of finding joy in the ordinary also helps us build resilience. Life is full of challenges, and Stoicism teaches that our strength comes from how we respond to those challenges. By ritualizing simple acts, we create a sense of stability and calm that can carry us through difficult times. The rituals we establish during peaceful moments become anchors that help us stay grounded when life feels overwhelming. In this way, the small act of drinking water becomes a tool for building inner resilience and strength. By treating everyday acts with reverence, we also practice acceptance. Stoicism teaches us to accept what is beyond our control and to focus on what we can influence. Rituals help us practice this acceptance by encouraging us to focus on the present moment and to engage fully with what is within our power. When we drink water mindfully, we acknowledge that we cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we approach the present. This acceptance brings a sense of peace as we learn to let go of what is outside our control and focus on what we can do in the here and now. The practice of ritualizing simple acts also brings a sense of rhythm and consistency to life. Stoicism values the idea of routine and discipline as tools for creating a balanced and purposeful life. By establishing rituals, we create a rhythm that helps us stay grounded even when life feels chaotic. These small acts become touchstones throughout the day, reminding us to pause, reflect, and engage with presence. This consistency helps us build a life that is intentional and centered on Stoic values. In the end, ritualizing the simple act of drinking water is about more than just hydration. It's about creating moments of mindfulness, presence, and intention in our everyday lives. Stoicism teaches that the way we approach the small things reflects the way we approach life as a whole. By bringing full awareness to something as basic as drinking water, we practice the Stoic virtues of discipline, patience, and gratitude. These rituals help us live more intentionally, fostering a sense of peace and clarity that extends far beyond the act itself. As we continue to engage with these daily rituals, we deepen our connection to ourselves and to the present moment. We learn to appreciate the small things, to find meaning in the ordinary, and to live in accordance with Stoic principles of balance and awareness. In doing so, we cultivate a life that is not only grounded in simplicity, but also rich in purpose and presence. As we delve deeper into the practice of bringing presence and ritual into our everyday actions, a sense of gratitude naturally begins to emerge. Gratitude is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, and it's something that can be practiced even in the smallest of acts. When we slow down, when we turn our focus to the simple things, like drinking a glass of water, we open ourselves to a profound appreciation for life's essential resources. Each sip becomes an opportunity to reflect on the abundance that we often take for granted. Stoicism reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from acquiring more, but from recognizing the value of what we already have. Gratitude, especially in Stoicism, is not just about being thankful for the big moments in life, but for the daily gifts that sustain us. Water, a resource so fundamental to our survival, is something we rely on constantly. Yet, in the rush of modern life, how often do we stop to acknowledge the gift that it is? The Stoic practice of gratitude encourages us to be mindful of even the smallest blessings, like a glass of water, and to approach these moments with sincere appreciation. Each time we drink, there's an opportunity to reflect on the fortune of having access to this life-giving element. When we drink mindfully, with gratitude, we transform a routine act into something meaningful. Stoicism teaches that happiness and contentment come not from external circumstances, but from how we perceive and engage with the world. By practicing gratitude with each sip of water, we are reminded that even the most basic resources can bring immense fulfillment when approached with the right mindset. This shift in perception, seeing water not just as a necessity but as a gift, aligns us with Stoic principles of appreciating what is within our control and not taking life's essentials for granted. This practice of gratitude also deepens our connection to the present moment. Gratitude, in its purest form, requires us to be fully aware of what we have right now. When we drink water with gratitude, we anchor ourselves in the present, appreciating the nourishment it provides in real time. The Stoics taught that living in the present is key to a fulfilled life, and gratitude for life's essentials helps us practice this presence. Each sip becomes a reminder to let go of worries about the future or regrets about the past, and to focus on the here and now. The act of drinking water with gratitude also cultivates humility. In a world that often encourages us to seek more, to strive for bigger and better, Stoicism teaches the value of simplicity and contentment with what is. Water, as simple and unadorned as it is, becomes a symbol of this lesson. By expressing gratitude for something so basic, we remind ourselves that we don't need extravagant pleasures or material excess to feel satisfied. Instead, fulfillment comes from appreciating the essentials, those things that sustain us day in and day out. This humility aligns with Stoic ideals of finding joy in what we have, rather than constantly chasing after what we lack. There's also a sense of interconnectedness that arises when we practice gratitude for water. Water, after all, is not something we create or control. It is a resource that flows from nature. When we express gratitude for water, we acknowledge our dependence on the natural world and the larger systems that provide for us. This awareness deepens our sense of responsibility, reminding us of the importance of caring for the resources that sustain life. Stoicism encourages us to live in harmony with nature, and gratitude for life's essential resources is a powerful way to honor that relationship. By practicing gratitude with every sip, we also nurture a mindset of abundance. Gratitude helps us shift our focus away from what we don't have and toward what we do. Each time we drink water with appreciation, we remind ourselves of the abundance already present in our lives. This shift in perspective reduces feelings of lack or dissatisfaction, which are often at the root of unhappiness. The Stoics understood that contentment doesn't come from acquiring more, but from recognizing the wealth already at our fingertips. Drinking water with gratitude fosters this mindset, helping us live with greater peace and satisfaction. Gratitude, when practiced regularly, also builds resilience. Life is full of challenges, but Stoicism teaches that we can endure difficulties with grace when we remain grounded in what we are grateful for. By focusing on the essential resources that sustain us, we create a foundation of gratitude that helps carry us through tough times. Water, a constant and reliable presence in our lives, becomes a symbol of stability and support. When we drink it with gratitude, we reinforce our ability to find strength in the basics, even when life feels uncertain. This practice of gratitude also encourages mindfulness in our consumption. When we appreciate something, we are less likely to waste it. Drinking water with gratitude reminds us to be mindful of how we use life's resources. Stoicism teaches moderation in all things, and gratitude helps us practice this by making us more conscious of our consumption. We no longer take water for granted or mindlessly consume it, but instead approach it with respect and care. This mindfulness extends to other areas of our lives, helping us live more sustainably and responsibly. Gratitude, especially for something as fundamental as water, also fosters a sense of connection with others. Access to clean water is not something everyone in the world enjoys, and by expressing gratitude for the water we have, we are reminded of the privilege that comes with it. This awareness encourages empathy and compassion, driving us to be more mindful of others' needs and to contribute to solutions that support those who lack access to basic resources. Stoicism teaches that we are all part of a larger community, and gratitude for life's essentials helps us honor that interconnectedness by fostering a sense of responsibility toward others. The Stoic practice of gratitude is also deeply rooted in acceptance. Stoicism teaches that we should accept what we cannot control and focus on how we respond to the circumstances we face. Drinking water with gratitude reminds us to accept the present moment as it is, appreciating what we have rather than wishing for more. This acceptance brings peace, allowing us to let go of the constant striving for something different and instead embrace the simplicity and richness of the present. Water, in this way, becomes not just a resource, but a symbol of contentment and acceptance. Each time we practice gratitude for life's essential resources, we strengthen our sense of purpose. Gratitude reminds us that we are part of something greater, that we are supported by the world around us, and that we have the power to live with intention. Stoicism teaches that a life of purpose is one that is lived in alignment with our values, and gratitude for life's essentials reinforces this alignment. It grounds us in the knowledge that we are cared for, even in the simplest of ways, and that our role is to respond with gratitude and responsibility. Gratitude also fosters joy. The Stoics believed that joy comes not from external achievements or possessions, but from within. When we drink water with gratitude, we allow ourselves to experience the quiet joy that comes from appreciating life's basics. This joy is not fleeting or dependent on external circumstances. It is a lasting sense of fulfillment that arises from recognizing the abundance already present in our lives. By practicing gratitude with each sip, we cultivate this inner joy, helping us live with greater peace and contentment. This practice of gratitude also teaches us about impermanence. Water, like many of life's resources, is fleeting. Each sip is consumed, and we must replenish ourselves again and again. Gratitude reminds us to appreciate these moments, even though they pass quickly. The Stoics taught that nothing in life is permanent, and by embracing this truth, we learn to appreciate each moment for what it is. Drinking water with gratitude helps us practice this acceptance, teaching us to savor the present without clinging to it. Gratitude for life's essential resources also teaches us about simplicity. The Stoics valued a life of simplicity, believing that true contentment comes from needing less, not more. Water, in its pure and basic form, represents this simplicity. By practicing gratitude for something as simple as water, we remind ourselves that we don't need extravagant pleasures to feel fulfilled. Instead, we find peace in the essentials, appreciating the simplicity of life's most basic gifts. In practicing gratitude, we also cultivate a sense of reverence. Water, as simple as it may seem, sustains life in ways that are profound and irreplaceable. By expressing gratitude for it, we acknowledge the miracle of life's essential resources and the role they play in our well-being. Stoicism teaches that we should approach life with humility and awe, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. Gratitude for water helps us practice this reverence, reminding us that even the simplest elements of life are worthy of our respect and appreciation. Ultimately, practicing Stoic gratitude for life's essential resources is about living with awareness, presence, and appreciation. Each sip of water becomes an opportunity to reflect on the abundance in our lives, to honor the simplicity of what sustains us, and to cultivate a mindset of gratitude that extends to all areas of life. Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes not from acquiring more, but from recognizing the value of what we already have. By practicing gratitude in even the smallest of acts, we align ourselves with Stoic principles, fostering a life rooted in contentment, peace, and purpose. As we come to the close of this journey into the art of drinking water, it's clear that this simple act is far more profound than most realize. Through the lens of Stoicism, we've uncovered how every sip can be a moment of mindfulness, balance, and gratitude. It's not just about staying hydrated, it's about living intentionally, respecting your body, and appreciating life's essentials. The way we approach something as fundamental as water reflects how we approach life itself. So, let every glass remind you of the power of presence, simplicity, and wisdom. Now that you've gained these Stoic insights, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How will you practice mindful hydration and gratitude in your daily life? Share your reflections in the comments below and join the conversation. Your perspective might just inspire someone else. If this video added value to your life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We explore wisdom for everyday living, and together we can grow into the best versions of ourselves. Click the bell so you never miss an opportunity to dive deeper into Stoic teachings. Let's continue this journey of living with purpose and clarity.